What happens when a nun becomes addicted to love, and in that obsession, she starts causing all kind of trouble? Let's find out in today's story. The movie opens with Maria, a nun, who has gone into a forest to pick some flowers. Suddenly, she hears strange sounds coming from near the river. She looks toward the forest but sees no one, so she continues picking flowers. After some time, when she becomes fully absorbed in picking them, a man suddenly appears in front of her, completely naked. He greets Maria with a good morning, and she is instantly shocked. The man is holding a stick, and seeing it frightens Maria. She quickly runs away from there. After running for a while, Maria turns back and sees that no one is following her. Still trembling, she goes to a small shrine nearby and begins to pray. She thanks God for saving her today. A little later, a boy suddenly appears and startles her, but Maria recognizes him. His name is Marcelo, and he has a baby goat with him. The two begin talking for a while, and Maria slowly calms down. Since Maria always stayed inside the church, she knew nothing about goats. She asks Marcelo a few things, and then the two go together to see his herd of goats. Once they arrive, Maria starts giving water to the baby goat. But just then, the same man she saw earlier in the forest appears again. Maria becomes frightened once more. The man wants to befriend her, and he even offers her an apple. But Maria, terrified, runs away again. The man just stands there, looking at her with loving eyes. Meanwhile, Maria runs back to her church. She sees that all the nuns are praying, so she joins them, but she cannot focus at all. Later that evening, some nuns are preparing dinner, and Maria helps them. When all the nuns sit together to eat, Maria suddenly sees the same man outside the window. But as soon as she spots him, he disappears, leaving behind only an apple for her. Maria becomes even more frightened. She had been thinking about that man so much that she had begun hallucinating him. After dinner, when all the nuns go to their rooms to sleep, Maria heads to her room as well. But she suddenly changes her mind and follows the nun who cooks meals. When Maria enters her room, she finds the cooking nun crying. Maria asks her what's wrong, and the nun says she wants to die. She says, "I'm dark-skinned, that's why no one talks to me nicely. My parents were slaves, and I ran away to come here. But even after becoming a nun, people still treat me poorly. What should I do?" Maria listens and comforts her, telling her that someday everyone will respect her. After comforting her, Maria returns to her own room. But Maria feels sad. The image of the man from the forest keeps appearing in her mind. She tries praying again to forget him, but his image keeps returning, and she becomes extremely distressed. She realizes what she must do. She decides to punish herself. Maria picks up a wooden board with metal spikes and starts punishing herself with it. Suddenly, she hears the cooking nun calling her. Maria's cow had fallen ill. Maria quickly puts on her clothes, opens the door, and follows the nun to see the cow. Maria examines the cow and tells the nun to bring some supplies. The nun returns quickly with water and everything Maria asked for. Maria gives medicine to the cow and tells all the nuns to go rest. After everyone leaves, Maria stays behind to take care of the cow. A long time passes, and Maria grows sleepy. Eventually, she falls asleep right there beside the cow. A little while later, the same man from the forest appears again. He eats an apple, leaves a small piece behind, and then vanishes. Late at night, when Maria wakes up, she sees that her cow has suddenly recovered completely. She begins to walk back, but her eyes fall on the piece of apple. She is shocked, but without touching it, she returns straight to her room. However, she still looks extremely troubled. The room is very dark, so she cannot see that another nun is already standing inside. Maria takes out the same spike belt again to punish herself. As she removes her clothes and is about to begin, Carrie suddenly appears. She had come to talk to Maria. The two start talking. Carrie then tells Maria, "I like you. I've fallen in love with you." She moves closer to Maria. Maria doesn't say anything, and the two lose themselves in the silence of the night. But suddenly, Carrie disappears, and the forest man appears again. He says, "Whenever you need me, just call for me. I will come to you immediately." After saying this, he disappears. The wounds on Maria's body vanish as well. She begins looking around in confusion, and at that very moment, it starts raining heavily. Maria quickly opens the window to look outside, but as she leans forward, she slips and falls down. Instantly, the rain stops. Maria becomes deeply sad and starts crying. The next morning, a nun named Clemencia is telling a story while the other nuns sit and listen. After the story ends, everyone prays to God. But when Maria goes to pray, instead of God's image, she sees a demon in the picture. Maria becomes terrified and doesn't understand what to do. As usual, Maria goes to the forest to pick flowers, but today her mind is elsewhere. She keeps thinking about the wild man from the forest. She starts looking for him but cannot find him. Instead, she sees Marcelo by the riverbank. Maria walks to him and sits down beside him, dipping her feet in the water. Today, Maria speaks openly about everything on her mind. After a while, she moves closer and kisses Marcelo. Marcelo doesn't like it and leaves immediately. Maria doesn't like how he behaved, so she returns to the church. All the nuns are eating, and Maria joins them. But suddenly, she sees a snake inside her glass. Maria screams, but when all the nuns look, the snake is gone. Maria quietly resumes eating, but the senior mother begins to suspect that something is definitely wrong with Maria. After dinner, when Maria returns to her room, she feels lost and confused. She picks up a pair of scissors, but then someone knocks on her door. Maria opens it and finds Clemencia standing outside, complaining of shoulder pain. Maria teases her, saying, "Maybe you spent the night with someone, that's why it hurts." After mocking her, Maria steps very close to Clemencia. Clemencia pushes her away and tries to leave. In frustration, Maria picks up a knife to stop her, but Clemencia still keeps walking. Maria becomes deeply upset. Just then, Mother arrives and asks her, "Why did Clemencia run away just now? Is something wrong? If something is happening, tell me." Maria makes an excuse and says, "Clemencia is sick and I was praying for her." But Mother senses that Maria is hiding something. Still, she gently says, "If there's any problem, you can tell me." Maria continues making excuses and manages to send Mother away. That evening, the cooking nun is shown again. She is extremely sad because even now the other nuns don't treat her well. She goes before Jesus' statue and starts crying. She doesn't want to live anymore. Maria stands there watching her. When the nun returns to her room, Maria follows her. But while Maria is walking behind her, Mother sees her from a distance. She doesn't follow them though. Mother simply shuts her own door and goes inside. At that moment, Maria arrives and pushes her, causing her to fall. Maria leaves the church and goes to Marcelo's house. She meets his grandmother and says, "I heard Marcelo is sick. Can I see him?" The grandmother tells her, "Marcelo is fine now, but he's sleeping. If you want, you can see him." Maria enters Marcelo's room. The grandmother continues doing her work. Maria sees Marcelo sleeping. She glances outside and notices that the grandmother has also fallen asleep. Maria removes her clothes and gets into Marcelo's bed. At that moment, Marcelo wakes up and tries to escape, but Maria stops him. She grabs a knife and begins stabbing, but in the next second, she realizes she hasn't stabbed Marcelo. She has killed his grandmother instead. Maria is horrified. The candle drops from her hand, falls to the floor, and the house catches fire. Maria runs out quickly and rushes back toward the church. On the way, she sees a black cat. Terrified, she runs even faster and reaches the church, where she grabs a drink. She sits to rest, but after a while, when she wakes up, she sees her hands burning. She quickly plunges them into water. Then she notices blood still smeared on her clothes. She hurriedly starts to remove them when she suddenly remembers that she left her locket in Marcelo's house. She quickly gets dressed again. Meanwhile, the entire church has learned that Marcelo and his grandmother have been killed. The villagers bring their bodies to the church. Two nuns come to inform Maria that Marcelo's body has been brought inside. Maria asks where the bodies have been placed so she can pray for them. She goes near Marcelo's body and quietly tries to retrieve her locket, but Mother sees her. Maria manages to grab the locket, but as she turns, she sees the superior mother watching her. Maria panics and runs to her room, but Mother follows her, confronts her inside. "You've done something terrible. You have angered God. I wanted to help you, but you have ruined everything." Hearing this, Maria whispers to herself, "I am more powerful than God. I will do whatever my master commands." Mother slaps Maria across the face. Mother begins praying for her. Maria also starts praying until a rope suddenly appears in her hand. She uses it to get Mother out of her way. She drags Mother's body to the room where the corpses are kept and closes the coffin. After this, Maria joins the other sisters from Marcelo and his grandmother's funeral. Everyone has gathered for the ceremony, including Maria. But suddenly, Maria notices that the hands of the nuns are burnt. Terrified, she runs away from there. She runs into the forest in fear, but her foot gets stuck and she falls to the ground, crying. She calls out to God and begs forgiveness for her sins. With a heavy heart, she enters a cave. There, she once again thinks about Lucifer. Lucifer appears before her and says, "Don't be afraid. I have come to save you." Maria cries, "Leave me alone. Because of you, I have committed terrible sins." But Lucifer says, "Accept me, and I will make you the superior mother." Maria doesn't believe him and refuses. But then he shows her the nuns approaching the cave and says, "If you don't accept my offer, these nuns, who now know the truth about you, will punish you." Lucifer continues, "They will drag you away, torture you, and destroy destroy you." Maria replies, "You are the devil," and starts to walk away. Lucifer then shows her visions of what will happen to her. After seeing everything, Maria becomes terrified and returns to him, saying, "I accept your deal." Moments later, the burning crosses in the hands of the approaching nuns transform into garlands of flowers. The nuns gather around Maria and start praising her. They declare that Maria is now their superior mother. Maria hesitates, but eventually accepts their words. She walks back toward the church with all the nuns. As she enters, she sees Lucifer watching her from a distance. Inside the church, the nuns celebrate with her. They seem extremely happy. Some dance together, while others enjoy themselves in their own little groups. As Maria watches them, lost in thought, Lucifer appears before her again. He calls her closer and says, "I've done everything you wanted. Now it's time for you to fulfill your promise." Maria takes him to the balcony, where a herd of goats begins bleating loudly. Maria begins to speak, expressing her regret. She now feels guilty for all the horrible things she has done. She looks around helplessly. At that moment, Clemencia seizes the opportunity and knocks Maria down. The other nuns also attack her out of revenge, severely injuring her. Maria runs to her room, but shortly afterward, she dies. Soon, her wounds mysteriously disappear, but Maria is already dead. Outside her room, 3 nuns gather and pretend to pray for her. They lie and say they tried for many days to save Maria but failed. More nuns arrive and join them, all acting saddened while speaking false words about Maria. Outside the church, Marcello and his grandmother are seen alive, peacefully herding goats. Following them from a distance is Lucifer. In truth, Maria had fallen ill, and everything she experienced was merely a dream caused by her sickness. And with this revelation, the story comes to an end.